Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this video, we're going to talk about the second Power Rangers trailer. So if you guys saw my first video, which if you haven't, you should probably see it before watching this one. I'll put a link right there. Yeah, it's going to be over here somewhere. I really think this looks like it's going to be pretty good. I know a lot of people are saying it's too different from the original. I don't like it, but here's the thing. Turn off your nostalgia glasses for a second and look at the original show for what it actually was. It's not great. Just because this one's a little bit different does not mean it's going to inherently be bad. It might be. I don't know. But from what they've seen, from what they've shown so far, it looks pretty good. I'm pretty excited for it. So let's talk about some of the newer things and then maybe some of the things that I haven't touched on yet. Start off with something that's not great. I don't think I like this whole Breakfast Club vibe. They showed this in the first trailer and they talk about it a little bit more as they go. The Power Rangers weren't the bad kids. They were the good kids. They were the ones that did well. They performed in competitions for martial arts and they had good grades and they were the good kids and they became the Power Rangers. In this one, they are shown to be some kind of screw-ups in some way or another. It's not necessarily a big deal, but I think it's a little bit of a forced character development type thing, which we don't really need. I mean, it's Power Rangers. Let's not try to make it too deep. I don't think it's going to be a deal breaker either way, but at least for the American version, they weren't screw-ups. And for the Japanese version, which is the original, they weren't even really kids. So, I don't know. I feel like they might be going for too much of a cliche storytelling thing, but we'll see about that. One thing I want to mention, I think I mentioned it briefly in the last video, but I want to talk about it here. I think the suits are looking really cool. I don't know if they added more white to them or if they just made it stand out a little bit more or what, but I like them. I don't think it would work to have the Power Rangers just in spandex like they used to be. It's not very practical, not very realistic. Maybe they went a little bit too mechanical with it, a little bit too Iron Man or Mass Effect-y, but I think the suits look cool. I think the bio-organic look makes sense as much as it can, and I think having the white on there does help. I do wish that the chest thing wasn't blue. If that was white, it would look almost perfect. But I like them. I like the helmets. It looks like even the face parts are maybe a little bit lighter or brighter, or maybe it's just me. I don't know, but I think they look good. So I'm pretty happy with the aesthetics of the Rangers. We're going to get to some other aesthetics as we go. The fighting that we've seen in this movie, it's not much, but I have to say it looks good. Now here's the thing that I'm a little bit worried about. It's going to be mostly CGI, and CGI fighting can look very hokey. From what we've seen, it looks good, and they can also have anybody they want do the fight scenes. So they can just rig somebody up with some little yellow balls all over their body, have them do a fight scene, and then CGI everything they want onto it. So we can get some really good martial arts out of this movie, out of these action scenes. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Now, I know a lot of the Rangers were actually able to do martial arts in the original show, but it was still very hokey and very low budget and cheesy. So it'll be nice to have a little bit more of a realistic take on the Power Rangers and their martial arts. So I'm looking forward to that also. One thing I'm not looking forward to, and it's not that big of a deal, but obviously they're going to be fighting the Putties again. Assuming that's what they're called. I don't remember if they mentioned it in the movie or not, or in the trailer, but they don't look very good. Obviously, I don't think they could have done the silver spandex putties from before, but these things that look like just rock people, I don't know. We'll see. It might be okay. It might be terrible. It might be great. I don't know. We'll see about that. I know I mentioned this before, but I want to say it again now that we've seen a little bit more. I think Rita looks cool. I don't necessarily care for the original look for Rita. I think having this whole Green Ranger thing, which is still not confirmed, but it's looking that way, I think it's a good idea. She looks a lot more imposing. She's actually down and in the action, at least to a degree. So that's pretty cool. And I mean, Elizabeth Banks doesn't look too bad in the suit, so I'm not going to complain about that. But I think it's going to be nice to have a little bit more personality, a little bit more character in the bad guy. At least in the American version, it was not good. She just stood up there and they dubbed it and it was not good. This, I think, is going to be better because they're actually going to have the character from the show that they're working on in the show or movie. So I'm looking forward to that. I like that she's got some juice, whether it's Green Ranger juice or not. I think it's cool and I think it's going to be a good thing. One thing that I think will be a bad thing about her, though, is not necessarily her, but Goldar. That, not good. I don't think this big giant molten gold goo ball is going to make a very good villain. Now, I don't know if they could do the whole dog, cat, person thing and make that look right this day and age and make people like that, but a bad guy that has no discernible features doesn't work. We saw that in Iron Man 3, we saw that in Suicide Squad. It's just not good, and I'm hoping that it's not that big of a role. I'm assuming it's not, since it's been shown in the trailers already, and hopefully they're not spoiling their main reveal for the villain, but we'll see. If it stays that way and that is the big thing, that's going to be very disappointing, because then you have goofy looking Goldar fighting a really goofy looking Megazord, which is the other thing I wanted to mention. Megazord, maybe it's a cool design in general, kinda, but it does not look anything remotely like Megazord. And these are clearly based on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and this Megazord is clearly not. It's very disappointing. So I'm hoping somehow they rectify that. I don't think they're going to, but we'll see. The individual Zords, they do look good. They look really good. They're the same as they're supposed to be, you know, pterodactyl, mastodon, all that. Only, you know, a little bit more of a realistic look. They're not real boxy. They look like robotic, pilotable animals. I think they look pretty good. So I'm hoping that somehow they can take that and transfer it to a good-looking Megazord. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case, though. We'll see. Alpha 5. Last time we did this, we were just commenting on some concept art, and now we actually get to see him and hear him a little bit, and it's maybe not the Alpha 5 we grew up with, but it doesn't seem so bad. Now we don't know if that's going to be the case or not, but maybe he'll be okay. And we get to see Zordon finally, Bryan Cranston. He's got a great voice for Zordon.
The answer to what is happening to you is here.
I mean, he does enunciate, and he has this really nice tone to his voice in general. Never really thought about it before, but he does. And it works even better as Zordon. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. I've heard some people complaining about the whole Zordon thing, where it looks like one of those things as a kid you used to put your face on and it would push the pegs out. I think it's fine. I think it's a cool concept. It's a good way of doing it rather than just having some crappy hologram of one guy, or not one guy, but one like 3-minute scene in him. They just reuse it over and over again. I think this looks pretty cool. It's a little more futuristic and reasonable for technology these days, so I'm okay with it. I think it looks pretty good. So that's about it. We're not seeing a whole lot of new stuff, other than we're seeing some more stuff that we kind of already seen hints of before. So I am very optimistic based on what I've seen. Every time I see the trailer, I've seen it like 5 or 6 times without having to go and get clips for this video. And every time I see it, I get that kind of excited feeling, a tiny little bit of a chill. And I think, oh man, I can't wait to see this Power Rangers movie. It looks pretty cool. And then Power Rangers actually look badass. And I think it's going to be good, guys. I'm very hopeful. And I'm curious what you guys are thinking. Are you getting more and more anxious? Are you looking forward to it more and more? Or maybe less and less? The more you see, let me know what you guys think. I'd like to talk about it in the comment section below, so make sure you do that, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every single day. We talk about movies, obviously, action figures, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff, so come back for all of that, and in the meantime, keep collecting.